They laughed at the old man until his funeral. Every morning, at exactly 7 a.m., an old man sat alone at the train station, same gray coat, same black hat, same tired eyes. His name was Arthur. People walked past him every day. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. Some thought he was homeless. Others called him the creepy old man. Teenagers laughed whenever they saw him. "Bro, I think he actually lives here." Everyone laughed. But Arthur never reacted. Not once. He would simply look down at the small pocket watch in his hands and wait. Every single day, for 10 long years. Nobody knew why. One cold, rainy evening, a young girl named Sophie missed her train. She sat near Arthur quietly. Unlike everyone else, she noticed something strange. Arthur's clothes were old, but perfectly clean. His shoes were polished, his posture was elegant, and the watch in his hand looked expensive. Sophie looked at him carefully. "You come here every day?" Arthur gave a small smile. "Yes." "But why?" For a moment, he stayed silent, his eyes slowly filled with sadness. Then he whispered, "I'm waiting for someone." Sophie looked around the empty station. "At this hour?" Arthur nodded softly. "She promised me she would return." The rain grew heavier. Arthur slowly stood up and walked away alone into the darkness. The next morning, he was there again, waiting. Days passed, then weeks. Sophie slowly became curious about him. Sometimes she brought him coffee. Sometimes they talked for a few minutes. Arthur was always kind, always calm. He never complained, never blamed anyone. But deep inside his eyes, there was pain. The kind of pain that never leaves. Then one winter night, Arthur didn't come. The bench was empty. For the first time in 10 years, something felt wrong. The next morning, Sophie rushed to the station manager. "Where's Arthur?" The old manager looked down sadly. "You didn't hear?" Sophie's heart dropped. "Hear what?" The manager took a deep breath. "Arthur passed away last night." Sophie froze. The noisy station suddenly felt silent. Her eyes filled with tears. "But who was he?" The manager looked shocked. "You really didn't know?" He pointed toward a giant building across the street. A building with silver letters on top. Hale Group. Arthur Hale built half this city. Sophie's eyes widened. Arthur Hale was one of the richest men in the country. Years ago, he owned hotels, companies, charities, everything. But then, his wife disappeared during a terrible train accident. And after that day, Arthur was never the same again. People said he lost his happiness forever. Yet every morning, he returned to the same station, waiting for her, hoping she would come back, for 10 years. Sophie felt tears rolling down her face. The man everyone laughed at was carrying a heartbreak nobody could imagine. 3 days later, Arthur's funeral took place. The entire city came. Politicians, businessmen, reporters, luxury cars filled the streets, and near the entrance stood the same teenagers who used to laugh at him. Now they were silent, ashamed. Then suddenly, Arthur's lawyer stepped forward. He held a small envelope in his hands. "There is one final message from Mr. Hale." The entire church became quiet. The lawyer opened the letter slowly and began reading. "To the people of this city, if you are hearing this, it means I am finally with my wife again. For years, people looked at me and saw only an old, lonely man. But pain is invisible, so please be kind to quiet people. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see." Complete silence filled the church. Some people lowered their heads, others quietly cried. And in that moment, everyone realized the truth. The old man they ignored every single day had one of the saddest stories of all. Sometimes, the people who smile the least have loved the deepest.